Welcome to your zebra and cheetah clay demonstration. I'm rather excited about this technique. So I've sped it up, so I'll try and keep up. So here you can see I've rolled some little coils and I'm cutting those into almost like little baby gnocchi, and then I'm rolling each one into a little ball in my hand. So get a little production line going. Then use baking paper. So you can see I've cleaned the clay, so you need a clean mat so the white clay doesn't go grey. Baking paper is better, but I'm using a Ziploc bag because I had it handy. Then I'm sprinkling all the little black balls of clay into the white. Pop down your Glad wrap or your baking paper and then roll it in really firmly. Then I'm using a flop mold with this polka dots face down, so that's what I'll see with my bowl. And then I'm pressing it around the edges, trying to get that lovely bowl shape, trimming the excess. And then that needs to dry for a little bit, so either get a hairdryer going on or leave it for a day. However, if you can't let it dry completely, otherwise it'll get stuck on our flop molds, so be really careful about that. Then I'm cleaning the base to make it smooth and lovely, trying to get the edges nice and even, and then I pop it to the side. Now to the zebra clay. So I'm rolling out little bits of white clay and black clay, and just make sure that it's the clay that will fire at the same temperature. Do a bit of research there. You can't just mix two random clays, they'll explode. So it's sort of like making a nice layered ganache or caramel tart or something. Now, because this was an experiment, after I've got my layers, I've used the scraps and they still turned out really well. So now I'm layering up the different zebra stripes. And then you need to really make sure there are no air bubbles in between each one, so layer it up slowly. I'm obviously got this on fast forward, but if you have any air bubbles, it will crack or explode. So work slowly, and you can see I'm getting my stripes and I'm lining them up. And then I've kept the good bit for you guys. I'm very nice, and I've done the demo with the scraps, so even the offcuts shouldn't be wasted. And I'm rolling them together, making sure that I didn't have any air bubbles, cleaning up the edges. So now I'm rolling another slab that will incorporate all of those stripes. Then get your baking paper or a Ziploc bag, and then you're going to roll it out, and you can see those beautiful lines are appearing. Now I don't want to marble it too much, otherwise the clay will just turn grey. Now make sure you put Glad wrap down on our flop molds so they don't get dirty, and that way your clay doesn't stick, because the clay we're using is really, really moist. So pressing it down on the flop mold, cleaning up the edges, and then allowing it to dry a little bit, just so it gets a bit of strength. So if you were to take it off straight away, it wouldn't hold its shape. So either gently wrap it overnight with Glad wrap just so it starts to firm up, or get a hairdryer and just give it a little bit of a blast, but we don't want it to dry completely. Clean up really well. Okay, next day. Ta-da! It looks amazing. Round of applause. I'm awesome. This is very exciting. So you can use this technique for your slab constructions as well. Just make sure you have clean hands. You don't want to have the black clay on your hands and then to handle your bowl. Otherwise you'll get fingerprints. Now you just need to use a knife to spin it around and clean up the edges. You might want to pinch it slightly as well to change the shape. And ta-da! really liked that you could see the marbling along the new clean edge as well. So just make sure your bowl is centered to the wheel, otherwise it won't cut an even line. And this is when you'll find out if you rolled your slabs evenly or if it was too thin on one side and too thick on the other.